People automatically assume he had to have done something because you hear how everybody would, you get this role in Hollywood, you had to have done something. So now all of a sudden my podcast is moving up the ranks.
What
both
you
of
do?
them. So people automatically assume, man, look here, man, I don't play like that. I don't. I've never been propositioned. I've never been approached.
Following Shannon Sharpe's cancellation, KATT Williams has supported Sharpe, who is well known for his frank and frequently provocative criticism, became involved in controversy after making a number of comments and taking actions that sparked a social media flamestorm. Sharpe's views were widely regarded as rude during a heated debate during a live broadcast, which sparked calls for his cancellation. Toxicity of the entertainment business is something that KATT Williams foresaw only months ago, and Shannon Sharpe is now experiencing it firsthand. Sharpe's podcast Club Shake has gotten a lot of traction, especially after Williams' interview. However, not everyone in the business is happy about Shannon's recent success. In a recent interview, Sharpe expressed his frustration about different celebrities trying to cancel his show and discredit him. These attempts have escalated to threats, and many guests who were eager to appear on his show have abruptly canceled without reason.
I have a real stable at-home situation to understand. I got meetings, I got study, I got to train, the way I eat, the way I sleep. I have to understand that. Now, if he's willing to pay that price, there's a price to be paid for greatness. There's a price to be paid for success. And if you're not willing to pay that price, you don't deserve to be successful. You don't deserve to be great. So the question that Cam is going to have himself, and only he can answer, not his dad, not his mom, not his handler, only Cam.
In an unexpected move, Williams shared a search report for Shannon Sharpe on his social media accounts. Williams, who is well known for his own contentious remarks and bold humor, backed Sharpe's freedom to share his thoughts without worrying about being shut down. Williams stressed the worth of free speech and the need for society to accept different points of view, regardless of how unpopular or controversial they may be. He claimed that punishing Sharpe for his statements sets a dangerous precedent and stifles candid and open dialogue. Both Williams' admirers and those of Sharpe offered strong support for Williams' cause. Many expressed gratitude to Williams for speaking out against canceled culture and encouraging communication instead of dividing people, and comments on Sharpe's posts were replete with expressions of unity and agreement. Although the toxicity of the profession has always been obvious, Shannon's present predicament is taking things to new heights. There are rumors that the escalating hate could endanger Shannon's life. During a recent chat with Cam Newton, Shannon disclosed the uncomfortable difficulties he has faced since his widely shared talk with KATT Williams earlier this year. He also explained why celebrities feel comfortable discussing their experiences on his show. In an effort to make his visitors feel at ease and correctly reflect themselves to the public, Shannon said that before every interview, he inquired about any subjects the guests would prefer to avoid.
I don't. I've never been propositioned. I've never been approached. I work my I try to create the best content that I possibly can. I try to create content that I feel that my viewing and listening audience want to see, want to hear. And that's the team that I've assembled. That's our job, is to try to create the best content.
For those who do not know, Shannon Sharpe is a famous former NFL player who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011. Following his incredible football career, Sharpe went into broadcasting, appearing on CBS Sports' NFL Today pregame show in 2013. Sharpe expanded his reach even further by becoming a fitness columnist and spokesperson, appearing on the cover of RX for Men magazine in 2016, and teaming up with Skip Bees on the FS1 sports discussion show Skip and Shannon. Unquestionably, Sharpe didn't enter the podcasting world just because it was hot. He had a strong following in the business. In addition to hosting Club Shay, Shannon co-hosts another podcast, Nightcap, with retired NFL player Chad Cowart and former NBA player Shinko Johnson. However, Club Shay is particularly well known, particularly after a number of viral talks with guests like Steve Harvey and KATT Williams in 2021. The episode with Bubba Wallace was particularly noteworthy because Apple Podcasts highlighted its importance. Sharpe's journey shows his ability to persevere and captivate his audience in the face of obstacles and setbacks in the industry, especially during the pandemic in 2020. After retiring from professional sports, Sharpe created Club Shay and discovered a passion for podcasting. His intention was to create an area where Black performers could openly share their experiences without worrying about harsh criticism. Despite having a long history in the media, Shannon sees himself as a conversationalist rather than a journalist. Nevertheless, he was unprepared for the podcast's incredible popularity in 2024, which is mainly KATT Williams' fault. After almost a year of trying to get KATT on the show, Shannon's luck changed when he ran across KATT's new manager, who helped him make the link. After 1 week, KATT was on Club Shh hesitant to share trade secrets. Shannon's producer predicted a major milestone after the session with KATT. Shannon initially didn't think the episode would go viral. His most watched episode on YouTube, which starred Steve Harvey, had gotten about 8 million views. Shannon thought the episode might at most surpass the Steve Harvey episode, which had gotten about 10 million views. Shannon was in for a big surprise. Shannon's ability to connect with viewers in spite of challenges and controversy in the business was proven in the Katt Williams episode. Notably, C accused Kevin Hart of being an industry expert. He started by criticizing Kevin's description of his East Coast upbringing, stating that it was unlikely that Kevin would have started his career there and then quickly achieved major success in Los Angeles. KATT analyzed Kevin's quick rise in the industry, saying he seemed to come out of nowhere and land big parts that other comedians took years to land. KATT also suggested that Kevin was an industry plant, accusing him of acting as a gatekeeper to help other industry plants like Tiffany Haddish rise. Given their protracted feud, KATT's harsh criticism of Kevin Hart was not shocking. In a previous interview, KATT had denounced Kevin's decision to wear a dress on screen, implying that the representation of straight black men in dress presses and the media was planned by industry. Aiming to weaken black manhood, power players, it appears Shannon Sharpe is facing a similar reaction. Earlier this year, when KATT appeared on Sharpe's show, he warned Shannon about turning Club Shay into a truth-telling platform. He did not expect the extent of the subsequent hostility, but Shannon is not alone in these views. KATT highlighted a worrying pattern whenever he spoke out. The industry retaliated by undermining his credibility and portraying him as unstable. Steve Harvey is another person who is supposedly involved in possibly ruining Shannon's career. It's interesting to note that Steve had previously appeared on Club Shay, where they talked about a variety of topics, from industry insights to lifestyle, in an interview that went viral.
But no, because think about my ascension, Cam. I lost my job in June. In October, Complex says the most entertaining sports personality, I'm number one.
Yes, sir.
I go, Stephen A. bring me on First Take.
Katt Williams didn't hold back when he accused Steve Harvey of stealing his story about living out of his car and facing financial problems. This accusation wasn't new. KATT had previously criticized Steve for feeding negative stereotypes about African American guys. When Katt Williams joined Club Shay, his appearance caused a dramatic increase in viewership, making his interview the most watched show to date. Steve made fun of Cedric because he knew he had ability and didn't want him to overshadow him during a New Year's Eve performance, which would have embarrassed him. KATT specifically claimed that Steve forced Cedric the Entertainer to wear women's clothes, hinting at a bigger Hollywood agenda to undermine black masculinity. Steve stated on Jamie Foxx's satellite radio show that he would rise above the fray and refrain from becoming involved in a pointless. When KATT spoke candidly in an interview, it seemed like Steve Harvey was greatly affected. The feud then flared up again. The tension continued even after Steve's tirade on his radio show, even though he didn't specifically name Shannon or KATT. Steve reportedly actively works behind the scenes to dissuade other celebrities from participating in Club Shay, according to insiders. In this effort, Steve is not by himself. Another influential person who is reportedly bitter towards Shannon Sharpe is Miss O. Miss O's problem with Shannon comes from his choice to include Mo Eek on his podcast, during which Mo Eek openly accused Miss O of being a manipulative and narcissistic person. Mo Eek revealed how she was supposedly harassed and had her career ruined by Miss O and Tyler P. for refusing to comply with requests that weren't stated in her contract. The long-running feud between Mo Eek and Miss O started when they worked together on the film Precious. Monique's refusal to take part in an unpaid, impromptu press tour allegedly infuriated Miss O as payback. Both sides are at odds as a result of Miss O's allegedly spreading rumors that Monique is hard to deal with. Notwithstanding Club Shay usually offers uplifting talks with happy guests. In one famous case, Shannon Sharpe has not been immune to controversy. By implying that Amanda Seales could be overstating her experiences, Shannon looked to be gaslighting her. Although Shannon claims his show provides a non-judgmental space for guests, Amanda recounted an incident in which she corrected a teacher's historically inaccurate statement as the only black student in the class. Amanda also noticed Shannon's perceived judgmental attitude and came to the conclusion that, despite his likability, he might not be the best person for deep talks. Amanda advised him to focus on light-hearted, humorous interviews and give listening more weight than forcing his opinions on others. Shannon was supported by some, and one commenter said Shannon wasn't incorrect. It seems that the hatred directed towards Shannon began even before the Katt Williams interview in May of last year. TMZ Sports reported a break-in at Shannon's Los Angeles home between 7:00 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. while Shannon was out having dinner with friends. The burglar stole various items including watches, jewelry, and designer bags worth roughly $1 million. While most people did not support Shannon, he addressed the backlash in a recent interview with Cam Newton, saying that if this was the only interview fans had a problem with among all those on his channel, he could live with that. Although at first this seemed like an isolated event unrelated to the podcast, Shannon later offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to the thieves' arrest. However, since Shannon's interview, rumors have surfaced saying that the robbery may have been a failed attempt on Shannon's part, turning into a theft when the perpetrators didn't find him at home.
I go, Stephen A. bring me on First Take. Thanks, Stephen A. I can't thank you enough, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that at some point. Have a meeting with Dave Roberts, who's the EV of sports talent there. Talk to Burke Magnus. Talk to Jimmy Pitaro. Man, Bob Iger. Pick up the phone, call me. Have a conversation. He's the president. Never really had the president like, the head.
Right.
Say, I'd like to have a meeting with you. I just don't want you to do that. I want you to do other things. I was like, wow. So First Take numbers, the days I'm on is doing unbelievable. And that's just not because of me. Stephen A. has done a great job of having, Pat McAfee was on, Dan Orlovsky, D.O., Saturday was on, a lot of different guys. Ryan Clark was coming on. A lot of different guys helped that. And now, all of a sudden, you see Club Shay Shay.
Shannon Sharpe wouldn't be the first or last individual to be blackballed by industry gatekeepers who disapprove of them for many fans, despite the fact that it can appear like a crazy plot. Despite KATT Williams' backing, Shannon only gives a platform for black celebs, thus it's puzzling that there is so much hostility towards him. Allowing guests to share sensational claims about well-known people is likely to attract a huge audience, but at what cost? Shannon Sharpe seems to be somewhat worried by the uproar his viral chat with KATT has caused. Recently, Shannon Sharpe talked about the turmoil that has surrounded him since his widely shared conversation with KATT Williams earlier this year. Cam Newton started off by questioning Shannon about how he stays impartial when his guests stray from the subject at hand and make outrageous claims or controversial comments about celebrities who have previously come on his show. Shannon clarified that he doesn't fact-check what his guests say, choosing to let them talk freely. He also discussed the disagreement between Ricky Smiley and KATT Williams, saying that he thinks his guests are telling the truth and that it is not his job to verify their claims. Shannon reaffirmed that it is not his duty to push back unduly most of the time, he just wants to allow the guests to talk, and noted that KATT had offered proof for all of his allegations. Shannon went on to talk about how his podcast's popularity grew dramatically as a result of his interview with KATT. Although KATT had foreseen that the interview would be a game-changer for Shannon's show, he had also given a warning that powerful people in the business would exact revenge on KATT for providing him with a forum to share their secrets. As KATT had warned, Shannon confirmed that this had indeed happened and expressed gratitude for the enormous boost in popularity that came from KATT's explosive revelations. However, he also admitted that he is facing significant fallout, as it appears that some industry insiders are upset with Shannon for taking offense at KATT's jokes and are allegedly planning a covert plan to destroy Shannon's platform as a form of retaliation. Setting aside Shannon's situation, let's examine the industry figures who are supposedly retaliating against him for giving KATT Williams a platform. Shannon acknowledged that he was aware of the possible consequences of having KATT Williams on his show, but he also expressed surprise at the severity of the backlash and negativity that followed. To this end, Shannon claimed that the recent spike in rumors about him supposedly being on the down low is a result of having Williams on his show. Many people have publicly chastised Shannon, accusing him of demeaning other black people in order to garner attention. One well-known reviewer is Steve Harvey. At first, he stressed his commitment to positivism and stated he wouldn't react to anything negative expressed about him on Club Shay. Steve also shared a video on X with the remark, "You don't have to address your haters giving Family Feud's advice on rising above negativity." It appears that Steve was greatly offended by KATT's comments, and he couldn't resist addressing the matter. He decided to share the information on a previously taped episode of the Steve Harvey Morning Show, where he didn't hold back and suggested that KATT might be a well-known fabricator. Steve told listeners to be cautious when someone presents something as the truth, even if they are a persuasive speaker. This wasn't the end of the saga though, as during a recent Golf Classic event, Steve revisited his grievances with KATT Williams and the Club Shay interview. Steve declared bluntly that KATT ain't worth much, and that he would relish the chance to bring him down following Monique's dramatic appearance. Steve noticed that some people lie so convincingly, interspersing enough truth to make their falsehoods believable. About Club Shay, DL High had some complaints of his own. Shortly after, Dave Chappelle weighed in, despite the fact that KATT had not specifically named Shannon Sharpe during his appearance on Club Shay. KATT took to Instagram Live to air his grievances, especially calling out Shannon Sharpe for causing trouble. In reaction, Shannon Sharpe defends himself, saying he wasn't spreading gossip but rather giving his guests a platform to express themselves freely. Dave claimed that KATT was just after black comedians, but supporters quickly pointed out to Dave that KATT had made it clear that his opinion wasn't personal. Fans' views on Shannon's participation are mixed, with many saying that Shannon was fully aware of the potential consequences following KATT's interview. Fallout advocates claim that Shannon ought to have stated unequivocally that the opinions voiced were those of KATT's, not of him. Fans, on the other hand, thought that Shannon ought to have expected the backlash, but people with inflated egos, such as Steve Harvey, only see Shannon laughing and enjoying everything that KATT said. It's a small-minded opinion, but that's just human nature. A few fans also attacked Shannon, calling him a hypocrite for not addressing KATT about his claims but showing opposing vigor towards him. During her April visit to Club Shay, actor and comedian Amanda Seales was one of the show's important guests. She opened up about her new diagnosis of autism, highlighting the importance of her journey of self-discovery, and she addressed rumors about her purported feud with Isa. Different points of view shouldn't always be linked with neurodiversity or other unrelated problems, but several viewers felt that Ray Shannon's interviewing manner was unduly confrontational. Circumstance underscores the continuous conflict in the public space between free speech and accountability. Proponents such as Katt Williams fight for the freedom to share differing viewpoints, while some stress the need of holding public figures responsible for offensive remarks. This incident with Sharpe and Williams' defense shows the larger discussion about cancel culture and its effects on public discourse. It also brings concerns about how to strike a balance between holding people responsible and granting room for opposing views. As discussions about cancel culture continue, Katt Williams' outspoken support of Shannon Sharpe during the latter's cancellation incident shows the difficulties in managing free expression and responsibility in today's society. The incident serves as a reminder of the importance of having civil conversations and the difficulties in bringing different views together in a divided society. Thank you for watching, and please check out our future video.